Hello, time travelers, and welcome to the Aging Journey podcast. I am your GM, TanyaLashea, aka Tanya, and we are going to be playing a new short campaign for this game using the Stars Without Number system. Hope you enjoy the journey. So, I'm assuming no one is familiar with Stars Without Number.
I am not.
Neither am I.
Okay, good. Because this is also going to be a bit of a quick start, because this is a really short, really short campaign. We're going to just be doing 5 actual sessions after the session 0. And so it's basically going to be like missions. Every session I'm organizing into a mission. So today what we're going to do is make a couple of decisions. And then based off of those decisions, we will then figure out like how we want to play the game for the 5 sessions that we're going to be playing when we start it up. First discussion is going to be on if you guys want to use like quick start pre-gens that are already in the book and then tweak them, or do a full build character. And then the second conversation will be then going into character creation if you want to do that, because that's going to take some time. And then we'll come back around to talking about the world. But the system is a sandbox system. So it's run by the GM and the players. It's kind of like focused on storytelling and moving the story forward with, you know, the different interactions your players have in the world. And then you're all rolling D10s. Unless I state otherwise. So it's actually a really easy system to kind of just jump into. The things that they have that are really, I guess you could say, are pretty much using the same system as D&D are like attributes and like the classes and the backgrounds. They're kind of very, very similar. So like attributes are strength, dex, constitution, intelligence, etc., etc. And then backgrounds are kind of like, are literally kind of like races. And then they have a few classes, and the classes are different, but again, easy to learn. So it's going to be a really easy way to organize characters. Not the hard part, but like the more time consuming part is going to be figuring out what your crew is like. So like how you guys interact with one another, the type of like goals you want to set for your like yourself individually, and then your crew, and then kind of creating the dynamic. So that's what I'd like to focus on today. But depending on what we want to do, I will see how much time we have, and then we'll go from there. So, any immediate questions about anything in the chat? So, in the chat, you have a document that's a PDF. That is the core rulebook. And I believe I gave the correct one, the revised one. You guys can review that or just have it, you know, for your own, to play this game another time. But we're not going to go through it, you know, step by step. We are going to go through character creation if we decide to do that. But other than that, I'm taking the background lore and then I'm adding new lore. So you don't really need to know the lore that they provide. And we're going to go through all the lore I've created in the how to play document, which again is just for you guys to be able to view on your own if you'd like. But we're going to go through that today. So any issues accessing those 2 PDFs?
I'm looking at them both right now.
Okay, excellent. And then I will put the lines and veils document once I've filled it out, because it's a sliding scale one. So once I decide what is not going to be in this game, I will put that on there and have it open for everyone to put their own ones. And then we'll go from there. But that doesn't need to be due until we start the gameplay in session 1. So I'll have that up by then. Let's see. Anything else I need to go over before I start talking about other stuff? And then you're all starting at level 1. And I already have your ship stats. And I think that's all of like the bases for like the system. So any questions about what I just said, and then we'll kind of go more in depth about characters once we all decide what we want to do with characters.
No, I got nothing.
Okay, excellent. So, first question for everyone to answer, and it's going to be kind of like a unanimous vote of yay or nay. But in the book, I think it's like character creation starts on page 4. And then right after it talks about character creation, it then shows you some examples. And they are basically like quick starts. So if you want to be a barbarian, you can like go down and find all the stats and just plug it. Or we can create characters from scratch where you'd have to review the skills, the attributes, the backgrounds, and organize those how you'd like them. It won't be honestly that different. The way that the game is originally set up, and they do note that you can kind of make your characters as you want, but originally it was set up to be just a role-based game, like the way a lot of these games were originally made. And so you would just roll the dice, and whatever came up on the dice, that would be your attribute, or that would be your foci or whatever. So regardless, I'll leave that up to you guys if you want to go to backgrounds and just choose a preset stats. But you can always edit as well, and we can talk about those today. Or if you want to do a full build.
I'm gonna try to look into a full build, though I don't see too many resources for a character sheet.
I have all of those things if you want to create a character from scratch.
I usually like to build characters out of scratch. I don't mind using the pre ones if we want to, but I tend to like to get creative with it.
Okay, sounds like that's 2 for build.
Yeah, I'm
Betsy,
down.
Okay. All right, if there's no preference and everyone doesn't mind building, then we'll do a build. So I'm going to go ahead and put the fillable character sheet in the chat for everybody. Excuse me. Okay. You should now have the fillable PDF. Hopefully that works for everybody. And then let me know when you have access to it.
Yeah, I got it.
I'll be back. Just in a hot second. I gotta steal my laptop from my roommates.
All right,
Okay.
I got the character sheet.
Okay, excellent. So if you go to page 4, like I said, that is your step-by-step for character creation. And what you can do is when you start with your attributes, which is essentially where you start for all stats, you can either choose their kind of like standard array, which they have listed there 14, 12, 11, 10, 9, 7, and assign as you wish, or roll a 3d6 6 times, and then assign those in order. So you can kind of look at these instructions, look at the first one in particular, and just decide which one you want to do. And let me know how you want to assign your attributes. If you want to use their standard or if you want to roll. If you want to roll, you're going to use Gaming Text Channel 1.
All right. I usually roll attributes. I like rolling.
Okay.
It has screwed me over in the past and given me like 4 zeros, but I like rolling attributes.
That's okay.
You said Gaming Text Channel 1?
Yes.
Where's Gaming Text Channel 1? Where did that go?
It's right above the voice channels.
Yeah, but I see Gaming Text Channel 2 and Channel 3. And then the 3 voice channels, but I don't see Gaming Text Channel 1. Which is bizarre, because I'm used it.
Yeah, but I reset it.
Ah.
It's on. Well, yeah, you should be able to view it.
Oh.
Here, let me just add everybody. Okay, hopefully you see it now.
There it is.
For those who
Okay.
decide to roll, I suppose we go over to quick character creation, it says here in the book.
Page 4.
Roll, and then what is
Or
that? It works. So I just need to do that 6 times and then choose my slots?
Yep. Yeah, so you're rolling 3d6. And this is just doing your attributes first.
Let me go ahead and spam out these. It's 4. I need to. Starting to think I should have just picked the numbers. Wow,
Yeah.
that's
My
really
Discord
bad.
is having a stroke on my laptop, so
Oh no.
I can't seem to get to any links.
Oh, for the character sheet?
Yeah, I can look
Okay.
at it, but I can't do anything with it.
Okay. I will make one.
I'm just getting a gray screen on my poor laptop. I'll have to monkey with it more. I just moved in.
Here, let me open up a new one. And I'll have you roll your stats and I'll just fill it in. Okay. Okay, so Kepeski, you're going to roll 3d6 for your attributes, and they are your general 6. So it's strength, dex, con, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. So you're going to roll 3d6 in Gaming Text Channel 1.
Alright. You want me to wait until Ziggy's done?
Yeah, that might be easier.
Huh.
Well, I don't think I'm gonna be using my fist very much for this campaign.
I need to shuffle up my modifiers, but I have a flat blanket -1 to 0 in my modifiers. And nothing higher.
Yep, because you're all level 1.
That's fair. That makes sense. But I would have hoped to at least roll like any like 2 6s or anything.
Wow, my wisdom is -1 and everything else is flat rolls.
Yep.
We get to shuffle around to like pick what roll we assign these numbers to, right?
Yes. So I would suggest to assign them, and then once we get to you picking your not your class because they call them backgrounds. Once we get to clicking your backgrounds, then you can reshuffle.
Okay. I'm just gonna go in and put in my zeros.
Ooh.
Welcome to the
Kepeski, we need you to just roll everything, like all 6s, okay? That's not 6s.
Yeah, no. Welcome to the
Why do we
Broken
suck
Bones
so
Club.
bad?
Dice Maiden
I made the
seems
Rolling
to
Bones Club.
Yeah, Dice Maiden seems to roll low because I put it in a different server and not a single one of my characters or any of my friends' characters have succeeded like a check in the entire game.
Well,
Moon, be quiet. Hush. Hush. The cat does not listen to me telling it to hush. It's almost like it doesn't understand English.
cats just don't listen to anyone. That's their.
Okay, well, this is quite a crew already. Which I think is going to be fun.
Yo. Am I the person with the highest stat? And it's 13, which gives you a flat 0. We're in trouble, guys.
Nah.
Nah, you're fine. I was about to say the same thing. No.
It just means
the fate of
instead
the universe is in our hands.
Characters will have to rely on money.
Yo, we're gonna beat the game with money.
Just saying, you don't need a high strength score to operate a landmine.
Now, I would suggest, since you guys ran your decided to roll your attributes, to look at the backgrounds, because you can either pick a background or you can roll a background. And if you want to, keep the luck train rolling, you can always.
It does say if we randomly roll our scores, we get to change one attribute to a 14. So I'm gonna take that.
Okay.
And take that.
Think baby whatever, pick a god, you know.
Now, do we pick the lowest attribute or random attribute? Like, what one are we switching here?
I believe it's any attribute from what I remember, but I will double check.
But the real question is, do I want to leave just a terrible roll on there?
Well, that is totally up to you.
It doesn't matter too much. They're all garbage. I'll just make one of mine to a 14 and keep the -1 on one because that's role play.
Okay. Well, go ahead and roll 20.
Yeah, I would love to keep the random going.
Okay.
Are we rolling random backgrounds?
When all of your stats are equally bad, it doesn't matter what you get.
If you're rolling random backgrounds, go ahead and roll it 1d20. Let's see.
Look, if everyone's doing that, let's do it. They rolled a 7. Let's do it.
God, I wish we all rolled 7s. It would have been beautiful.
Just 3 merchants. Yo, I got a 13. What am I? To the table. Where does it say? I need to know.
It is page 9.
9, 8, and
you're a politician.
Oh my
Yo, I can work with that.
Someone's an official.
Well, a merchant and a politician, interesting.
And an official.
Yo, you all work for me, okay?
Welcome to Team Bureaucracy.
Team Money! We can be bad at the game as long as we're rich.
Money.
That's how that works.
Background.
How did you guys complete your first V.I.C.E campaign? Well, we hired someone more adequate to do it.
We just hire another player who ends up just joining the campaign because we're like, yes, we hired them. They're ours now.
5 episodes of a podcast of us just doing paperwork.
Honestly, I actually played a really fun chill game. I don't know if you guys have played a really indie game, Chill, which is also a horror game, and it was called Chill the Office, and we basically did like a spoof of The Office, but like horror. It was great.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm just imagining the podcast just being like quiet scribbling on paper, home of like a fan, the occasional cough. Good for 5 straight episodes.
Every now and then you take a break to talk about your other players, cast slight criticism.
That season is on another studio's channel, so you can listen to it. It was hilarious. It was a good time. Hold on, let me get my notes here. Okay, so we have a politician, and what were you, Ziggy?
A merchant.
A merchant. Okay, interesting. I will give anyone who wants to a reroll if this is maybe not what you want. But I'll give.
Fate has determined that I'm a politician. I'm taking it.
I'm taking merchant.
This sounds like
I rolled the dice. And the dice said bureaucracy and money.
This feels like it's the start of the campaign is just a meeting between a politician and some merchant who's bankrolling him, and then the campaign begins.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
I can't help but feel that we've derailed the campaign in session 0.
Literally. Okay. So you all rolled, so that means that you are. Oh yeah, I did check. You are allowed to pick any skill.
Okay.
And switch it out for 14.
What if I just did my -7 in charm? I'm a politician. I'm not very good at it.
That's why we're here.
Great. You're a politician, but not very good at it. That's great. Okay.
My politics is gun.
So if you all go down to, well, first in background, when you go down to your section that has your background name, it'll give you kind of a paragraph or two about what type of adventurer you are. So just like highlight that or bookmark that to make sure that you keep that in mind when you kind of think about your backstory. But you'll need to all choose your skills.
Oh, so I guess I could also be a cop, but I really like team bureaucracy.
Oh, actually, it would be so. I didn't.
You could be a peasant.
I didn't say any of them were off limits, but cops in this world are complicated. Let's just say that.
It says law enforcement. It doesn't specify whose law.
Yeah, law enforcement in this world is complicated. It's complex. It's not a bad thing. It's just if you were interested in doing that, I would probably want you to tell me that in private. But I think for now we'll keep what we have, and then it still stands. If you guys want to change it, just let me know. And if you're wanting to be some sort of law enforcement, or if you're wanting to be, a trader, or if you're wanting to do something like that, then keep that secret and just let me know later.
Do we get the free skill that's listed with the background?
You can if you take the preload. So like those stats are just like preloaded. Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay, so when you guys go down to, I think it's page 16. I don't like doing it in this order because it's a little confusing. I would prefer to do skills first, but you have to go past your class. There's only 4 classes. So, and one of you has to have a psychic ability. So on page, 16 are your classes. And it's expert, psychic, warrior, and adventurer. You don't have
I could
to
do psychic.
You don't have to be a psychic, but you just have to have a psychic ability, so you can be like a partial.
Like the adventurer with partial psychic?
Yeah. And since we have a politician, a merchant, and a official, let's have at least one of you be either a partial or a full psychic. But
I'll do full psychic. I think it kind of makes sense for a politician to be full psychic.
Okay, I'm not saying we all go psychic, but I am saying it'd be kind of funny.
Yo, 3 psychics walk into a bar.
Ow.
What, you didn't see that coming?
No, I'm not that kind of psychic.
Okay.
So for psychics, you get to choose 2 psychic skills as bonus skills.
Okay. Where do we choose those, the psychic skills?
Yeah, so skills are way down. That's why I prefer to look at skills. Like the way they have it organized is interesting. But if you go down to, hold on. Your skills are your
Okay, I see skills.
what
Or I
page
think
is
I do.
it?
Is that under quick character creation? I see that would be on page 26. And then onwards from there.
Ziggy, what are you gonna choose for your?
Yeah, I think I'm going with expert.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say.
So again, they have like standard arrays in the quick, but it shows you down if you scroll.
And that's our class is psychic expert. Okay.
And it shows you your bonus skills that you can again roll for those if you'd like.
All right, I think I'll go warrior.
Oh, you're gonna go. Okay, so we have 1 psychic. You're just going full warrior?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Oh. God, this is I adore it.
You're.
I don't even know this. This party, and I adore it. I don't know if I can do anything.
You're cutting in and out. I can't understand what you're saying.
Oh boy. Reggie. Don't tell me Rutro Reggie got through, but nothing else.
It barely got
how it
through,
goes.
yeah. Unfortunately. Okay, so who's so everyone's rolling again?
Uh-huh.
What am I rolling?
Oh, hold on 1 second. Let's start with the psychic because you get 2 bonus skills. So roll your bonus skills first.
And all right, and that's in back at the 26 on the bonus skill tree?
Yes.
I'm scrolling down. I scrolled up. I made a mistake.
I know it's
some bonus. Yeah. Let's roll 2 d20s and see what happens. See, in this section, I would usually choose, but I don't feel like choosing. I just want to see what happens. 11 and 4. So I have programming, hacking computers, run comms, and fixing, repairing, and building things. I'm a politician. I'm the working man's man.
Interesting.
Where is... What? Where do we put skills on the Oh, I see. So
On your character sheet?
Yeah. Fix and program. I see them. They're just okay.
Yeah, they're
What
not,
numbers do we apply to these for the bonus skill?
So hold on.
I'm gonna have to do some psychic skill stuff too, it looks like.
Yes, the psychics are okay. So okay, so you have 2 bonus skills. You have, and then you need to, and you can pick the same one twice to obtain a level 1 proficiency and a free level 1 technique from that discipline.
So I just have level 0 in fix and program.
Yes.
Okay.
And then your maximum effort is equal to 1 plus your highest psychic skill plus the better of your wisdom or constitution modifier.
Wisdom or constitution. Let me see. Wisdom -1. Constitution 0. We'll go with the 0. One plus 0 plus 0. Okay.
And then when you're done that, go ahead and roll 1d6 and add your constitution.
Where do I put in my effort?
That should be at the bottom. Your psionic effort, I believe.
Psionic effort max 1 currently. Okay. And then you said roll a d6?
1d6, yeah.
3.
And then add your constitution modifier.
0. Oh wait, we haven't done any editing to change it. I'm gonna keep it 0. Let's just see what I have right now. 13 in charms, probably good. I'll probably switch that with dex. I'm just gonna do some quick fiddling with my stats. They don't matter too much, but
Your maximum
I'm just
hit
gonna
points
switch.
is 3.
Is 3?
Yep.
Okay.
And then all of you guys' attack bonus is going to be 0 because you're all at level. And that should be the psychic.
Attack bonus 0. What comes next? Or what does everyone else need to do?
Yeah, that's it for psychic. For right now, I'm going to just go through everybody and do your skills, and then we'll all move over to do your foci all together. So that's it for psychic expert. You're going to gain a free level in a non-combat focus related to your background. So you need to choose your like main skill, essentially. So you can either choose it or roll it.
What would I roll it with?
Where do you have a roll list? Let me check. Before I move, let me remember what page this is. Okay. Oh, there's no roll list.
I suppose I'll take it in trade since I'm a merchant, so merchants are kind of all about trading, right?
Yeah, you only get to pick two. So one is like your free pick, and then the second one needs to be non-combat because you did expert.
I'll probably do it with talk.
Okay. So can you tell me again which ones you're picking?
Talk and trade.
Okay. Okay. And then warrior. You also get just two. So one free and then one that is combat focused.
And to clarify, where do I find these?
Page 27.
Under bonus skill?
Yeah, those are just a list of like all of the skills, and that you it's for the psychic, they roll it as a bonus skill, but you guys don't have like a list. So you can just choose. Just make sure it's not just make sure your second one is combat. Has something to do with combat. Like punch, shoot, stab.
I think I'll take notice and punch.
And punch. Okay. And then you're all level 0, except for the psychic is a little bit different, but both of those should be starting level. And then I think we move on to foci. Yes, because you're the only person who gets effort. Okay. So foci is up top on page 20. And then for the psychic, you can choose the unarmed combatant focus. But it doesn't look like you have to. I'm just making sure that there's nothing you have to do specific. So it looks like you guys can choose any focus.
Are we taking them at level 1 or level 0?
Level 1.
I think I'll pick Big Starfarer.
Okay. That you're the expert?
Yes.
Okay. You can also take an additional level as long as it's not in combat.
I'll take Ironhide.
Okay.
Can I take Henchkeeper? I put it into your hands, but I'm curious.
Read it out to me. I'm on a different page. Read it out to me.
Yeah. So, you have a distinct knack for picking up lost souls who willingly do your bidding. You might induce them with promises of money, power, excitement, or some other prize that you may or may not eventually grant. A henchman obtained with this focus will serve in a loyal fashion until clearly betrayed or placed in an unacceptable danger. Henchmen are not important people to your society, so on and so forth. Level 1, gain lead is a bonus skill. You can acquire henchmen within 24 hours of arriving in the community, assuming anyone is suitable hench material. These henchmen will not fight except to save their own lives, but will escort you on adventures and risk great danger to help you. Most henchmen will be treated as peaceful humans from the Xenobestiary section of the book. You can have one henchman at a time for every 3 character levels you have rounded up. You can release henchmen with no hard feelings at any plausible time and pick them back up later should you be without a current henchman.
Yeah, you can take that.
Cool.
Warrior.
Guys, I can get a secretary.
Oh my gosh! If Warrior also go ahead and take an additional level, additional focus. Just make sure it's combat related, and then psychics don't get another one. But I think you should take healer, just so that you guys have that
instead of henchkeeper, or
no,
along
but
with.
take them both. No, you can take an extra one. Yeah.
So yeah, you say that I get another Ochi of level 1 as long as it's not combat. So
yes,
but I think my other one will be hacker.
Okay,
Ooh,
that makes sense.
Yeah, that means
then
I get pilot and program as bonuses.
Nice.
Kepeski,
Oh, that's
what did
right.
you say your first one was?
Ironhide.
Gotcha.
And then I think I'll take Shocking Assault.
Okay.
Henchkeeper and healer.
What's the 1. Okay. So we have you. I'm filling out your character sheet while I try to switch back and forth. Okay. So I think that catches everybody up to making sure that everybody has put their hit points down. Did everybody roll a 1d6 and add their con modifier?
No. Damn it. Why is it only 1d6? I could literally anything could kill me.
No, the point system's very different than other games. Don't worry. It's not like one like slash does 1 point of damage. That would be horrible.
Our expert just dies immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, literally, everyone would just die immediately.
Yippee! I don't know what my con mod is, so.
Yeah, that's because I see your scores, but I just put them in, not knowing where you wanted them to be. So let's do that real quick while before we move on. So where do you want your first one to be, which is, I believe, an 11? Yeah. No? 8? Where's your first one?
I'm gonna look at my stats with my eyes.
Okay.
Well, damn, we don't have a lot to work with here, do we? I think I'll put the 8 in wisdom.
Okay.
And then the 11 in con. 9 in charisma. 6 in intelligence. 10 in strength. 8 in dex.
Okay.
Broken bones.
You were the official. That one. Okay. So you have 8 through 13 on all of them, except for the 6. So that's going to be a 0 modifier for you on all of those, and a -1 here on intelligence. Okay, so your con modifier is 0. So go ahead.
Oh.
You already rolled your 1d6. What was it?
1.
Excellent. All right. And then Ziggy, did you already roll yours?
Yeah, my HP.
Yeah.
I got 1.
Excellent. All right. Excellent. We're moving right along. So, reminder, if you didn't already fill out your attack bonus, it's a 0. Except for warrior, you get a +1.
Let's go.
Dude,
Okay, so now we are at saving throws. So it's going to be, you're all the same in terms of the calculation. So it's going to be 15 minus whatever is better, your strength or con modifier. And that's going to be your physical.
15 minus that modifier?
Yes.
Okay, so just 15 then for me.
Yeah.
And then your mental is going to be, again, 15, but minus whichever is better, your wisdom or charisma.
So 15.
Yep. And then your evasion is going to be 15 minus whichever is better, your dex or intelligence.
So 15.
Physical evasion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, how does the +1 figure into that? Because 15 plus minus +1?
For your
Because my charisma is a +1 modifier, I believe, unless I'm wrong, but I don't think it is. So
your charisma is a +1 because you got a
I have 14 in it.
14 to 17.
Yeah. I have 14 in charisma.
Well, it'd still be 14, right?
You said it's 15 minus the modifier? The zeros, -1s, and so on and so forth? Or is it minus the number itself?
I believe it's including the plus and minus. Let me check. Oh, on the sheet it says 16 minus. Interesting. There might have been a change there. Make yours 16.
16?
Yes. Okay, so does everyone have, so you should have your background, your class, your max hit points, your level, which is 1, your 2 skills.
Oh, what's up?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just jumping ahead to armor class.
Not there yet. You should have your attributes chosen, your modifiers done, and now your saves.
So it's 16.
And your foci.
16 minus 0, stick same. Evasion was the same thing, like dex, right?
Evasion was dex? Where are you at?
Saving throws. I'm still a little confused by minusing from the +1, but if you were to take it from the Constitution, it would be minusing from -1.
Yes. So on the character sheet says 16 minus whatever your level is, but the instructions I have say 15. So I would just say minus it, including the denomination. So if it's a -1, it'd be 16 plus -1. So
Okay.
minus -1. My gosh.
Or 16 minus 1 in that case. Yes?
Yes.
And then for better saves, it's 16 plus?
No, it's 16. So if you do 16 minus negative, it's a plus, if that makes sense.
Yes. So the stats where your stats are worse are better saves? Because that's how the math would end up, right? Unless I just don't know how to play the game.
That is what it looks like. I don't know if that's correct. So
because that just seems off.
I agree. So I'm gonna say do 16 minus 1 if you have a -1, and 16 plus 1 if you have a +1. Because I think that makes more sense to me. That's probably not how they want you to do it, but we're not gonna worry about it.
I don't understand their math. It doesn't math.
It doesn't math.
But yeah, there we go. Sorry. Got that done.
Okay. Okay, so, and your attack, but that's the one I was missing. Your attack bonus should be 0. Okay. And then for your, we won't really need those, but you all should have um 3 experience points, or not experience points, skill points. That's right next to your attack, your base arc bonus.
Okay.
Unless you are no, you don't have an extra modifier. Okay. I think that's everything filled out from what we've done so far. Okay. So now we're going to move on to equipment and then armor class. I'm going to say for equipment, choose a pre-made package. Equipment is on page
25.
25. So choose a pre-made package and then kind of edit it based on what you think you might need. You'd have to look at the equipment list, which is way at the bottom. Like the way that they have the equipment section is kind of annoying to actually know what all of these things do.
I think I'll take blade.
And it's very uneven based on what you choose. So I will say everyone choose like 4, 2 melee and 2 non-melee.
For the an equipment section?
Yes, in page 25 it says equipment packages.
Yes.
So like look at the ones that are here because it'll be easier to.
Yeah. I just was looking at the civilian and saw 700 credits. So that seemed nice, even though you get nothing else. So I don't know if that's too much.
Now the credits. Now you guys aren't taking the full package, just the equipment, not the credits, because you will all have the same amount of credits, and that'll be based on when we talk about how you want your crew to look. You guys want to be, swimming in dough? Do you want to be, bad with debt? So you're technically have cash, but you're like, 50 million credits in debt. So we'll talk about that.
I'd like the woven body armor, a thermal knife, a backpack, and a Lazarus patch.
Okay, and your weapons go over to the left side underneath where like the name is. There's like a little tiny sign that says weapons. And it wants you to put the name of the weapon, the modifier, and then the little icons is like your attack and your defense numbers, and then your modifier.
Nice.
And then the long one after it, the long what is it called? There's like a place where you can put your dice, like what dice you roll after you put your modifier. Okay, so Kepeski, you said you wanted what?
The thermal knife.
Which one is that under? The blade?
That is under blade, yeah.
Okay.
The thermal knife, woven body armor, the backpack, and a Lazarus pack.
You can pick another one. I'll just make the backpack just a backpack.
What is the other?
Do they all have to be from the same one?
No, you can just mix and match.
Ooh. I would like the binoculars from the scout then.
Okay.
Would the data slab and the compad be considered non-encumbering equipment?
I guess it would depend on how big they were. If they can fit in your backpack.
I guess that's up to you. What's the technology of the world? I assume data slab would be like a tablet, and then compad would be like a communications device.
Well, it would probably be chunky.
Okay.
So kind of like we did have nanotechnology, but this is millions of years in the future.
Okay.
And a lot of that was lost. So they still have technology, but it's more magical technology. So I think the technology would kind of go back in time a little bit because they're relying on magic. So it'd be a little chunky, but I think it would still be small. So it would fit in a backpack, I think.
Okay.
Oh, can I swap the woven body armor for low light goggles? I realized I have iron hide, so body armor's kind of useless.
Oh. So you want to switch out for what?
Low light goggles.
Which one is that under?
Thief.
Okay.
I'll be back in a hot second.
Okay. Ziggy, how are you doing?
Yeah. For the thing, I'm pulling from the hacker list, pulling a laser pistol, secure clothing, the Portes toolkit, and maybe this metal tool thing.
meta tool. Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
What page is equipment on? It's like way at the bottom in like their app index. Page 70 is the equipment. Okay. Okay, so unless your character comes with armor, your base armor class is 10.
Really, Ethan.
What was that?
Where do I put my base armors class?
Down in armor, you can just put like base AC 10. And then when you get armor, you can add different ACs. Because the idea is, I think that you can, switch your armor.
I have return.
Okay. I was just telling everybody that your base armor is 10. So that's already recorded on your sheet.
I think
your base armor class, unless you have armor.
I think my skin is my armor.
Are you a machine?
Kind of. I have ironhide.
Well, that's a skill.
Yeah.
Does it say that you have permanent armor? Is that the skill?
Hold on, let me get back to it.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
So then everyone should. Okay. So everybody should have your background chosen, your skills chosen, your class, your foci, attributes, hit points, attack bonus, saving throws, equipment, your weapons, and you can go down into page, what did I say? Page 70 to look at the full. It's a really long list of equipment, so I would suggest you use the find button to look up exactly what you have in your equipment to see like what it is, and like what the attack bonus is and what you roll, and fill that in. Everyone has
Iron
points. Ace. Yeah.
One level of Ironhide says you have innate armor class of 15 plus half your character level rounded up.
Dang.
Okay.
Engineered skin fibers.
So you have a 15
Plus half your character
0.5?
level rounded. Yeah, I guess
Your
15.5.
level's 1. Okay. 15. Oh, it won't let me do it. 15 point. Huh. It doesn't do that on let's put it here. 15.5. Okay. So that should be everyone's stats. And so the only things left are going to be your credit and your debt, which is what we're going to talk about once we kind of have an idea of what you guys want to do in terms of your what's it called? Your crew. So what you want your crew to look like. So let me also give you guys your ship stats. I'm going to put that in the chat. This isn't that important, but it'll show you at least like the type of ship you guys have. So even though it's so I created the ship before I knew your characters, so this is interesting. But you know, we're all going with it.
It's just a Chevy Tahoe.
It's all about the characters. We'll work it together.
But you guys have like a basic frigate. But it was probably like fairly expensive, but not that expensive. It was like 2.6 million credits, so it was, you know, it was a good chunk of change whenever who bought it. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But let me put your ship stats in here, and then we'll use the remaining time to build the crew, and then schedule our next session.
I think we should be John Smith's shipping co.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So you all have essentially what is a general like overhauled patrol boat. So you have an AC of 14, a speed of 4, your armor class is 5, your HP is 25. Your crew skill, that's just kind of like a base of +2. It's not that powerful. These are kind of like medium stats for a ship. So you guys have a mediumly decent ship with one main weapon but no defensive.
We got the Mario.
And it's worth about 2.6 when you bought it. If whoever bought it new. But your upgrades are going to be, you know, 500 to 2.5k. So that just gives you an idea of like, as you're thinking about not only just taking in money to like feed yourselves, but also to keep up the ship. So with that in mind, how do we want to do credits and debt? Do we want you guys to start off rolling in dough? Do you want to start off rolling in dough but in debt? Let me know what you're thinking.
Is this for the whole crew or for the individuals?
I'm going to say both. So
okay.
Because this is going to be, so essentially, actually let me, I'm going to really quickly.
Oh my god, is this just your political campaign bus?
It is now. You guys made it that way. Let me see here.
What should we name?
If this was my political campaign bus, it would be much nicer. Okay.
So essentially, there are 3 known constants of like what everyone truly believes is true in this world. The number one is that there's such thing as chrono existences, and these instances have to be kept at a minimum because they're really dangerous if they're like unauthorized. That's the belief essentially. So your job as a crew that works for this organization called V.I.C.E, which is volunteers in, what is it called? Volunteers something.
I really like the idea that we all think that it just stands for volunteers in something because none of us know
Volunteers and
anymore.
something.
Volunteers in
It's
something or other.
yeah, it's like volunteers in Chrono something. But it's I'm surprised I don't have it on here, but it's the name of the organization you all technically work for, essentially.
Congratulations, we joined the SCP Foundation. Pray for your
well,
support.
it kind of, because it's a bit complex. So it's more of a paramilitary type of corporation that is also, pretty widespread across all of Syndara, which is this what am I trying to say? This solar system, my goodness, in the Milky Way. So essentially, you all work with this organization, kind of whether you want to or not, particularly psychics, because psychics are technically constricted into service. Right. But there's like this cultural belief that chrono existences are bad and that they need to be maintained and organized, and that when people violate the procedures, they will be dealt with accordingly. And that's your job. So, and of course, the third one is that the whole idea of why there's a such thing as a chrono existence, which is essentially the government is making sure that people only have a certain amount of time to live. That's the short end of the stick there. Because they're trying to elongate how long human civilization lasts. And so it's a pretty understood, like, cultural norm that is, number one, normal, and number two, it's correct, like it's right. Like, whoever created the algorithm that gives you the little timestamp on your arm that tells you how long you have to live, that totally makes sense. No reason to question it. Who's making the algorithm? Why are you even asking these questions? It all makes sense. So you're going to essentially be working for this organization, but you're also going to be finding out some things that might have you question some of these core beliefs.
When you said three things, I assumed you were going to say life, death, and taxes. And then you started about chrono existences. I went, oh, no, I'm wrong. But now, on the other end of the explanation, I was right. Life, death, and taxes.
Yeah,
those are the three things.
Yeah, there's technically no taxes, so hooray, I guess. However,
that's where I come in.
Yeah, so it's a really interesting system, but essentially this is your job. So when you think about like credits, you're going to get a set amount of credits for each mission that comes to you. So it's going to be like a mission readout and the amount of credits that are due, and that's just for your captain to accept or deny if you guys don't have the time, if you're on another mission. And then there will be missions that you can't refuse, even if you don't like the payout, because they're coming from the government. Any questions about that? About that little tidbit?
No questions. Few ideas why I'm here, but no question.
So we are not
right. So
the
now
government,
you guys,
but we answer to the government.
yeah, well, that's a great question. You are, oh yeah, it's called Volunteer Investigators of Chrono Existence. So number one, it's called volunteer in that way. That's like, you guys kind of get paid not the greatest. You don't get the best benefits. The work is hard and it's kind of thankless, but also you don't really have a choice. You're kind of made to believe you have a choice, but you don't really have a choice.
It's volunteer, but I'm not the one who volunteered me.
Right. You have been volunteered. Thank you for your volunteer service. And you're like, but I didn't volunteer, and we didn't ask. So that's where there's not many options, number one, for other jobs. And you'll kind of see that when we get into the world and you meet some of the NPCs and you see how horrible a lot of these places are. It's not a great place to, do other jobs. So number one, if you're a psychic, you're conscripted. So you're doing this job whether you want to or not. And number two, most people get into doing this job because they were told to at some point. So either they were maybe they met someone who was like a higher official in the old Tarian, which is the basically the paramilitary organization that runs everything. And they just became liked. And they were like, you know what, you're a good egg. I'm gonna put you in charge of a ship and work for V.I.C.E. And you're like, well, I wasn't planning on making that lateral move in my career. And they would go, you're welcome. That's kind of the way the government kind of works.
Yeah, so we work for the SCP family.
You're welcome.
Unfortunately, I'm starting to look like an NPC agent. I should stop wearing my red shirt. Might not be for me.
You went in and out again. So it kind of caught half of that. Yeah. But yeah, there's on the PDF slides, there's a section that tells you all about the players, which is you. So you're playing as a member of V.I.C.E. You're either a psychic or a non-psychic human. You can be like some sort of humanoid cyborg or like artificial existence if you'd like. And you're essentially, psychics are transcripted, and the rest of you have, for some reason, found yourselves working for V.I.C.E., working for this crew, kind of in a roundabout way. You don't really want to be here, but also there's really not. It's not like there's a plan to do something better, unfortunately. And then you are receiving your direct orders from the organization called the Old Tarian, which is the government, but also is a religious organization, but also is a paramilitary. So, and they also do govern the entire solar system.
Ooh, a hat trick.
Mm-hmm. So the pay comes infrequently, and the work is hard and thankless.
Welcome
and
to
then it just
Lethal.
talks a little bit about the campaign. So for the crew, though, you're a group of volunteers who work together as a crew on all of the jobs that are given to you. And your crew essentially has one job. So that's to investigate and deliver punishment according to the old Tarian statutes. So imagine somewhere in your ship, you have one of those big old thick books, like that's like a manual and an operations manual and a rules book. And it's like behind it's like in someone's desk that nobody ever reads. So that tells you how you're supposed to investigate when you think people have broken the rules, and how you're supposed to then punish them. So you're not quite like Judge Dredd, but you're very close. And you essentially you're not the only V.I.C.E. team. You're like one of many, but you essentially work around a certain area in the solar system. So that's your area of patrol, essentially. So essentially you're all the worst versions of law enforcement.
Oof.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I said that's why I said that if you wanted to be a law enforcement the way that they have it written, it'd be a bit complex in this world.
We're all already
Dead I chose politician.
Right. Yeah, I don't even know how politician's gonna be. That's gonna be interesting.
I have some ideas. I've got some ideas to throw out. We'll see.
You're
okay.
a publicity stunt.
So I put in here that each crew consists of 4 to 6 crew members. This is mainly for like people who want to run the game, but essentially you just need to make sure that we have 2 really necessary work assignments. So that's literally being the psychic is a job. Like your job is being a psychic. So the psychic, that's your job. That's like your main work duty. And then you can, do other stuff based on if your character likes to do certain things. And then of course there needs to be a captain. I think for this game, because we have 3 players, the captain will be a PC. And then Ziggy and Kepeski, you guys can choose what other like work assignments, so like what other jobs you would want to have on as a crew on a ship. And yeah, captain and a psychic, and then that's just more information for the GMs.
What's the psychic supposed to do? Just judge, jury, or?
Let me go back. So psychics are constricted, and
Yes.
that's because they are former old Tarian military, or essentially you went through military training because you had to.
Okay.
And so sometimes they're loyal and sometimes they're not loyal to the old Tarian. So essentially, kind of like I don't know if anyone has watched the movie the Alien prequel Promethean, but essentially you can be like, the person that knows all the rules, make sure that like when you give punishment, the punishment is correct, and then of course you are the psychic, so you can have psychic abilities. Or you cannot be loyal to the old Tyrann, and maybe you can want to, start a revolution. Or usually the psychic is a very complicated character, which is why it's fun to have one. But your duties around the ship, your specific job is to identify if there's a chrono existence in the area that you're investigating, and then to make the decision whether the person has violated the rules. So you kind of have to be like, based on, talking to this person, reading their mind, or, however you're using your psychic abilities, I believe that they are guilty. And then you send it to the captain, and then the captain, sends it to the old Tarian. They kind of like approve it, and then you guys then hand out justice.
So I am the judge. Got it.
A little bit, yeah. you guys are like the judge, but not immediate. So you can't like immediately pass judgment. You still have to do a little bit of bureaucracy.
So you're the prosecutor.
Yes. And then when it comes back to you that it's approved, then you can be the judge.
Okay, Ziggy, which of us is jury and was executor?
Which one's executioner? You're the one who has swords and stuff. I feel like you're executioner.
Okay, so Ziggy, you're jury.
I guess that's pretty. Yeah, I mean, that, and I think I'm the only one with pilot as one of my skills, so I guess I'm the captain.
Well, the captain is going to be a PC.
Oh.
But you can be,
pilot?
I was going to say the pilot that is like the right-hand man of the captain, because the captain's not going to be able to like go on shore and go to, what are they called? Go on missions.
So you're the first mate.
First mate, that's what it's called.
I played Thieves. I know what's up.
I don't recall bringing the first mate position on my Sea of Thieves ships, lady. There's just me, the captain, and everyone else.
Okay, so what did you choose, Kepeski?
For what?
As like a role, like what you were gonna do.
Is there like a list that I'm not seeing, or am I just making this up on the fly?
No. Yeah, you're making it up. There's no list.
I was just gonna do security and paperwork.
And normal, obviously you're the psychic, but did you want to do something else?
I
Or
could
have,
probably
like,
do like
another-
comms too.
Okay, comms. And then Ziggy, what are you?
Yeah, then at least one of the pilots.
Okay, a pilot. Anything else that you guys want to do? I think someone took a lot of like hacking, right? Did
I
someone
ended
take a
up
lot of
with
hacking?
programming and mechanical work somehow,
Okay,
or fixing, program and fix,
okay. Does
and then
someone
heal
want
and lead.
to like work weapons or work what's it called? Or do mechanic? It doesn't sound like it, but I'm just making sure that nobody wants to like do any of those roles, and then I will make sure that those roles are NPCs.
I'm afraid I'm only good at looking at things and hurting it with my hands.
Okay. Then that's the crew. Then.
Yippee!
So it sounds like I'm gonna go ahead and stop running this. It sounds like we have a crew mainly made up of, I would say, like professionals and semi-professionals and tradesmen who are all in charge, and everyone who does like the grunt work is like under you. So that sounds to me like middle management.
I'm middle management.
Hey, I'm security.
That sounds like middle management.
I've made
You're
an
security,
official.
but you also.
I've
You're
done my
security,
best
but
to
if you're
make an
also doing
official into a
paperwork,
bruiser.
if you also want to do paperwork, then what else would that be? Security and I don't
My
know, bookkeeper?
secretary.
Your secretary? Oh my gosh.
I meant more. I
Um,
keep track of what comes on and off the ship, making sure nothing goes missing.
Oh,
Warrant officer?
oh, I see.
No sticky fingers, no stowaways.
Ah, okay.
Would
So
that be like
you're,
warrant officer then? Or something like
I
that?
don't know.
yeah. So you're okay. It could be a lot of things. I'm gonna call you warden.
I'm
Yo, the
inventory
ship
manager.
warden.
So yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So based on what you guys kind of want to do, what you have kind of in your head and what we've talked about today, and how you know your ship is going to run, just to kind of give you an idea of, so you can answer this next question, just to like pull out of your hangar where your ship is, or your station or your dock, where if you're at like a station, just to like pull away, with a full tank of gas and be able to ride around the cosmos, you would probably need like 35% of your paychecks, just to like get to your destination and get back, just in like fuel costs and like general costs, just to do your job. So given that given that, if you started off with like 500 credits each or 2,500 credits each, and you get a payout of like, let's say 25,000, then 35% of that payout would just go towards like maintaining you going out again. And then probably like 15 to 20% of that 25,000 would then go towards maintenance and paying your crew. And then the rest would go in your pockets. So just keep that in mind, that this is your how much you're actually bringing in, what your net will be very, very small.
It is death and taxes.
So how would you all run this ship knowing this? And you can do anything. You can have some side hustle that may or may not be legal. You can maybe pay the crew, once every 2 months instead of every week. You can be creative about making sure that more money stays in your pocket if you'd like, or you can be a little bit more generous and be more in debt, which is not great because guess who runs all the debt offices? It is indeed the paramilitary organization that runs everything. So the place you work for, the place you work for also owns all the banks, and also owns all of your money, if you have like a loan or debt.
So you think it's a vice, like drinking or something,
You're
but
going in and out again.
Actually, script. Oh no. Am I dead?
I hear you.
This is just gonna have to be.
Oh, nope.
This is character.
Nothing.
Oh no!
You went out as soon as we heard you.
Yeah, I kind of only got like half of that. Okay, well, Kepeski's character is a robot.
Sweet.
And we will move forward with that being canon. But what are you guys thinking in terms of how you'd want your ratio of like credit and debt to be? How do you want to run this ship? Are you running it like a tight ship where everything's accounted for, money, you're breaking even? Are you always in debt, or is the money flowing but only in you guys' pockets? Like, so what are you thinking?
Well, I personally, if you can actually hear me, as far as inventory is concerned, I run a very, very tight ship. Some of it gets skimmed off the top. It's totally a tight ship.
You do skim off the top? Okay, so you're saying you do skim off the top, but you covering it up very well.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No one would notice between me being good at my job and the very little I take.
Okay.
Resold. Totally. 100.
Okay.
I'm all down for.
I'm gonna put.
Okay. No.
I'm gonna put on.
No one knows if I have my way.
I'm gonna put on your character sheet, kind of like a hidden account or hidden, like somewhere else you hide extra money, so that we just know that. Okay. And then because you are hiding it, that means that your paychecks look like it only looks like you're breaking even. Or are you also wanting to be in some sort of debt?
I think I'm in debt, but not because I was generous.
Okay.
I may or may not have committed some crimes and may or may not have been bailed out.
Is this just like the ship where they send all the people who are just not good at what they were supposed to do?
I mean,
I was very good
depends on what
at it. That was the issue.
That depends on what you two do. Let me make some notes here.
I picked up a knife and decided to go crime man of crime.
Okay. Okay. Okay, good stuff. Ziggy Normal, who wants to go next?
Don't jump at once.
I kind of want to wait to hear see what Ziggy's got.
Okay. Hey, go for what questions do you have for me about my character?
Yes. So, what are you thinking in terms of your character's relationship with funds? So, what happens when you get your paycheck? Are you like straight laced? Are you doing some side hustles? Are you into crime? Things like that. So, like, and also, like, what type of debt do you have, if you have any?
I'm not quite sure about the debts just yet. I would say that on the side gig that during this flight I run like an online, or at least the settings equivalent to the internet. It's store to sell some wares and such. I found out on all these missions because the Vice doesn't pay you that much.
Right. Okay, so you got a bit of a side hustle going on.
Yeah.
Now, are you keeping that side hustle money in your accounts that your paycheck comes in or your pay credits come in?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Okay. And then you said you weren't sure about debt, but you don't have to give me details, but do you think you would be in debt? And if you do think you'd be in debt, do you know why? Like, is it due to a vice or is it due to, like, anything else?
I have a feeling if I were to be in debt, it would probably be as a result of a bad deal on my side hustle. Might be part of the reason how I got my vice job, to be honest.
Okay. So we've got someone running side hustles, but also in debt, maybe due to some bad deals. And then we have the official, who is definitely totally legit, squeaky clean, this guy, and may or may not have several offshore accounts.
My hands are clean, do not touch.
Did not hear that, but I think I got the gist. All right, that means the politician psychic is left.
So
you
can
have
I
to
get
answer,
yeah? What was that?
Wait, you have to answer another question, which is
Okay.
what level of loyalty you have to the old Tyrion.
Are the old Tyrion bankrolling me?
No. you are
you're
on the same level as everyone else. unless you would like to have someone who's a traitor who is maybe feeding you something a little extra. However, you then know that if you get caught or that person gets caught, you both go down essentially.
See, as like the comms officer and also a politician, I feel like I've definitely been trying to pull dirt on a lot of people on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyone I can get a little bit of information, I have it. And then there's always the threat that, hey, I have it. I can always, just send a wire.
Blackmailer.
Yep.
Crime boat.
Can you believe they put me on this crew to try and help my image out?
Honestly, this is definitely sounding like Crime Boat. This 100% sounds like Crime Boat. Okay. How does that show in your accounts?
I feel like I also have an offshore account.
Okay.
Is it
And
still
it's really
offshore
easy
if
because I
it's in a
control the
different
communication.
Oh, two people were talking at once and I didn't hear either of you, sorry.
Okay, let's do it again. 3, 2, 1.
No.
2, 1.
One at
So,
a time.
planetary conquest.
Mm-hmm.
Legalized
See?
nuclear bombs.
But I definitely have like a satellite bank where I send extra money. And because I run the comms, I can scrub the data on it.
Okay. Are you all, as a crew, familiar with your past and some of these vices? Or are you guys, keeping this type of information to yourself, close to the chest? How close are you
Am
guys?
I helping either of you with the communication side of things?
I feel like I think I'm being very secretive, but I also have a 6 in intelligence, so our comms officer sees everything.
I have a 13 in intelligence, so I definitely see it.
Okay.
My
Ziggy?
encoded messages are like just color coded. It's not. It's very easy for someone who sees all of the puzzle pieces to decipher. But I don't
I
know.
feel like there's a stalemate between the two, or you could do it like this, where I'm fully ready to like come out and blackmail you with it, but I'm also aware that you would probably just kill me on the ship, so I don't.
I personally
Interesting
like the
dynamic.
dynamic of I could ruin your life. Well, I could just end yours.
Okay. And how does Ziggy fit into all this?
I mean, on occasion Ishin would would talk time to time about my wares and such of my side hustle, though I will always try to leave out the debt part since 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 it's playing myself to be in so much debt to land in this position is something that I really don't want to be out there. It's really embarrassing.
Okay.
When you're bringing stuff onto the ship, unless you're hiding it from me like very well, I like to see everything that comes on and off. I'm not necessarily saying I'd stop you.
But I mean, a protection fee is not out of the option.
Oh, I'm just saying I wouldn't
I'm
question
trying
you
to play it
taking
safe. I
souvenirs.
mostly pick up like wares and souvenirs and stuff. This isn't drugs or anything.
Yeah. I'm just aware that you bring souvenirs back to sell on space eBay.
That's now canon.
They
Space eBay. Oh, that place is going to be so shady. No wonder you're dead. You're getting robbed left and right. Okay. Okay, so I'm hearing a couple of really fun things. I will also say that normal.
Yes.
Your psychic ability, essentially in this game it's kind of like always on, and it's kind of half like you can like read the vibes of like the room, or you can like understand what people are trying to convey to one another without them ever speaking. But it's also something where like you can push into other people's minds and learn things they don't want you to learn. Do you do that to your crewmates?
Probably.
Okay. So then with that said, I will
If
say
there's
that
something that seems I can dig for, I definitely dig for it.
Okay. Then I will say that you guys have a business casual relationship with one another. You all kind of know what the other person's like vices are and their debt issues. It's just you guys are very smart because you also know that Normal's character knows everything. And the captain, I'm going to say in this moment, is completely blind to what you guys are doing. So to kind of keep it under their nose and also from like other crew members and make sure that they don't know any information, you all do kind of have this pact of like, look, you do your thing, I'm gonna do my thing. Let's all just work together to make sure, we all come back with some coin.
You pay me a nominal fee, I scrub your records. It's fine.
Exactly.
There's
So,
only
yeah,
so many
100%.
shady corners in this ship. We gotta share.
Yeah, you can't all be in the same shadowy corner. Okay, I think that's a good starting point. I am going to send you your what is it? Your character sheet, Kepeski, in your private message. I'd like you guys to just do a final review of like your characters and what we talked about of how your crew is, and then just write up in your own document a bit about your character. Either you can give me backstory, or you can just give me a little bit about how they feel being a part of this crew and what like their major goal is. Like if their goal is just to make bank and stay alive, then that's the major goal. But if they have something else, write that in there. Like, what are you trying to do? Why are you continuing to work here? Like, if you had the choice, why would you continue to work here? That type of thing. So like, write something up just based off of what you think your character will do. You guys can come up with your own names and, ages, descriptions, just like anything else, and just have that ready for our first session. Just be like ready to actually introduce your character. But in between now and our first session, please email me both that written background and your character sheets. Thank you all for listening to the Aging Journey podcast. We hope you are enjoying the campaign. Don't forget, you can listen to our podcast on our podcast website, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. Lists will be in the description below. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. You can support the podcast on Patreon or join our Discord. Enjoy the journey.